If you've been looking for homes for sale in Alton and Palm Beach Gardens, you've probably noticed they look a little bit different than a lot of Palm Beach Gardens, or even Jupiter for that matter. But it's some of the more modern architecture and the walkability of the neighborhood, the amenities that Alton has, the closeness to Alton Town Center. Can you really justify the price of it? Especially when you compare it to something like Abacoa. Let's go on a little driving tour of Alton, and while we do, I'll try to answer some of these questions. Alton Palm Beach Gardens is located east of 95, south of Donald Ross Road, north of Hood Road, and just west there of Central Boulevard. If you're trying to figure out where it is on a map, that's where it is. I get more emails and phone calls from you guys asking me to do these tours where I just drive around with the camera hanging out the window. So here we go, Alton Palm Beach Gardens driving road tour. All right, so look, let's talk about why Alton is appealing. First and foremost, I think that we got to talk about the elephant in the room whenever you talk about buying a home down in Palm Beach Gardens or in Jupiter. Insurance costs are going to be a big part of it. Insurance costs are going to be lower on new construction or newer construction. So I think that was the reason why, Alton, when it was built and when it was being built and when they were selling it and sold it out in relatively short order, it was really attractive because there wasn't a whole lot that looked like it. And it was a new product at a somewhat attainable price. I know, I get it, that the price is high, but for this area, for new construction, it was an attractive price point. Look, something's only new once, and I get that. We built our house new. I like new. But new also means you don't have to worry about replacing the roof anytime soon. You have impact windows and doors, so you're going to get a good credit on insurance. Plus, you don't have to start ripping things up and redoing it. Homes start to age. We're going to compare this to Artistry and Abacoa, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But for right now, I just want to say that's kind of the reason I think there was a draw into Alton, or so much of a draw. Alton is a mix of townhomes and single-family homes. Townhomes, these are going to be 3-story townhomes, generally 3 to 4 bedrooms. They're going to range from 2,000 over 2,400 square feet under air. They all have 2-car garages. Single-family homes, they're going to start around 3,000 square feet and go up above 5,000 square feet. At this point, I think we kind of got to talk about the difference in values between places. So let's just take 4-bedroom single-family homes. In Alton, you're starting at that 1.3, 1.4 range. In Abacoa, you're starting about $100,000 less at like 1.2, with a build year that's 15 years, roughly 15 years older than Alton. So that to me is kind of only $100,000 difference, 15 years. That would kind of push me to look more towards Alton than to Abacoa. However, I do enjoy and really like the overall community of Abacoa and how walkable and just cool that whole area is. And I like a lot of the architecture there too. Artistry, it's just adjacent. It's just west of where Alton is. They're still selling through the developer. Coincidentally, same developer that did Alton is doing Artistry. Those are going to start 1.3, 1.4 range. So again, you could have something new just on the other side of the highway from where this is. Maybe something that you want to look at, maybe something that you want to consider. Large sizes in Alton and Artistry, they're going to run upwards of 2.5, a little less than that in Abacoa. Townhomes, if we're looking at 3 bedrooms, there are no townhomes in Artistry. In Alton, you're looking 800,000 to just below $1 million. Abacoa, 500,000 to start, up to 750,000. This is where, if you're considering Alton or Abacoa, if you're looking at single-family homes, I would probably want to lean Artistry, Alton, something like that. If you're looking at townhomes, $300,000 rift in price. That's a big price difference. You may really want to consider Abacoa over Alton if you're kind of looking just to get into something that's kind of where I would lean. But let's talk about one of the big deals inside of Alton. Not only the town center, which has Lenoras and all sorts of fun stuff, including my office. But look, inside of Alton, you have a magnificent clubhouse that has all sorts of amenities. I mean, it's just a laundry list of stuff. You know, fitness center, aerobics room. They have a sand volleyball court, basketball court, tennis courts, 2 pickleball courts. You know, there's multiple dog parks on the property. So I think that helps justify the cost of the HOA and the carrying cost. And definitely you can understand why some people are willing to pay the fee and want to be in Alton. Look, overall, guys, if you're thinking about either Abacoa or Alton or Artistry, I think these are all really unique and really great properties with all a little bit of difference, you know, between them. So please get in contact with me. Let's talk more about it. And instead of me just driving around hanging the camera out the window, you could be sitting in the car next to me. How fun would that be? So I hope you guys found something good in this, and I'll see you soon.